What's up, everybody? Today's another day of Painbot's podcast, like we do every Sunday, where I just end up talking about stuff that's bothering me, essentially. It doesn't always have to be that way, but it just ends up being that way, unfortunately. But today, I have a good friend with me named Coach. What's up? Say what's up, Coach.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Coach is someone who I've been around for a while now, and he has his own podcast that y'all should check out on his channel. But I brought him here today because I just wanted someone to bounce ideas off of. Not because, in particular, he knows about the first subject. Like he's been thinking about the first thing I'm about to yell about. But the second subject we're going to talk about, he's been around a while, so he knows exactly what he's going to say for that, at least. But I guess we'll talk about Guilty Gear first. So my thing is, they delayed Guilty Gear a month, right? We would have gotten it today. Or not today. Like 3 days
been this
from now.
month. Yeah.
It would have been like next week, I think. Or it is this week. It'd been this week. I think it would have been Tuesday, if I remember correctly. What do you think? I have to ask you. What do you think they held it back for?
Well, I guess like mechanically, I think they wanted to actually fix the lobby, not in the sense that, not the design that everyone complained about, but like the fact that it's still on delayed code. It wasn't working actually, like functionally at all. Other than that, I'm not really sure. They might want to make sure they got their server situation going well, because I think they mentioned that explicitly. But other than that, I'm not really sure, because I imagine like, balance wise and all that stuff, they're probably at where they want to be. Like they probably got that close to gold, but I guess we'll see.
I mean, on that survey, everyone lit them up for that lobby.
yeah. Like the actual design outside of it just working and not was very poorly received, and everyone was quite vocal about it.
I don't know if, obviously, they are not going to redo that lobby. It's too late.
Nah.
What they can do is make it so that it functions a little bit better. But the lobby itself is fucked. Like, it's terrible. The idea is horrible. So there's no fixing it. They would have to scrap the whole thing and do it over again, which they won't. So I guess the best they can do is make sure it works the best it possibly can as intended, I guess.
Yeah.
But
that's I think
I was about to say that's why I think they're going for.
I agree.
Damn, that lobby sucks. It's really bad. It's really bad. The only reason it's funny to me that they went with it is because I don't know. This is always my thing, right? I always ask this: do these guys play fighting games? The only reason I ask is because I have to understand why they would make this, and if they actually played fighting games, they would understand what is necessary for a decent experience. But it just seems like these fighting game developers it's just you don't think it'd be so easy to miss the mark. But unless it's like an indie fighting game, they just seem to miss the mark every time. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. Samurai Showdown not having a fucking line, like it didn't have a line. Like everyone could spectate, and then 2 people could play, and then it would send you all back to the fucking default like setting, and then you'll have to manually line each other up again. That just screams to me like, do developers not, like fighting developers, not play their own fucking fighting game, or do they not play fighting games at all? I don't know. It's crazy to me. The Guilty Gear lobby, I can understand trying to be innovative at the very least, but if they should know that the thing that people liked the most about their stuff was that the lobbies that had multiple, like, you could do 8-man lobbies and like everyone play each other. They should know the simplicity of that is why everyone played in Guilty Gear instead of like the open world or whatever. But I guess they took it the other direction. They're like, man, we must have not made the open world great enough, so we got to turn the lobby into the open world. That's what that looks like to me, right? Isn't that just what it feels like?
I definitely think there's a big pursuit of novelty there. Like I'll put it this way: like when you say, do they play fighting games? I guess they do. Like as far as like internally, but like stuff like that. I'll say from my own experience as a software developer, not making video games, it tends to be like a trap you fall into, right? When you yourself built this system and you know it works a certain way and you test it and you do certain things, but you don't like go, okay, let me separate myself from the actual development of it and look at it kind of raw. And so you don't really, there's like a blind spot that you get because you know how it works and you know how it's supposed to work, and you're not somebody who just showed up and looked at it. So they probably like, we made it, you're gonna climb up these towers, and they probably thought it was like all cool in their head when they tested it out the way it was supposed to work. It probably seemed nice, and then when a whole bunch of people looked at it and said this was like dumb, and they're like, man, well, we don't want to be there's this thing I've always heard where it's like, sometimes the developers want to say like we know better, and I think that's probably one of those times. And I guess it blew up in their face enough times where they had to like mention it. So I imagine somewhere down the line they're gonna restructure how they do their rank system with that tower lobby. Because I'm thinking that like player matches and stuff will still be the same. But
I mean, from what I understood when I played the beta, there is no more ranked, right? There's just the lobby.
yeah, so that's the tower system's supposed to replace like ranking, and I'm guessing like they still have like you pull your friend in for a match and then you do rematch and stuff like that. But then like if you just want to get on there and play random people, that's how you do it, and it's extremely questionable because like the way they had it before wasn't so bad. It's just that people who were not in Japan were not playing it, and I think because it's just funny when you bring up the lobby and stuff like, well, people ain't gonna play ranked anyway. But the reason why they weren't playing ranked is because they got to choose to play people close to them.
Yeah, it's not
random people.
Yeah, see, here's the thing: they just look at the data, right? They're just like, well, no one plays ranked, and it's not, well, no one plays ranked because it's impossible. Like that's not the way they thought about it. They thought about no one plays ranked because no one likes ranked. No one plays ranked because it's impossible to enjoy ranked in any video game that is a fighting game, except for maybe like the ones like Killer Instinct or Mortal Kombat, right? The ones with really, really good netcode. Because then you can get matched up with randoms and it'll be at least a good experience, and then you'll have people within your skill level. Anime games, or like, well, not even anime games, just any fighting game, really. Any fighting game, the amount of people playing is so sparse because the netcode is so trash that eventually the rank devolves into completely unplayable trash. So it becomes, well, good players don't want to play rank because there's no one to play that's near their skill level or close enough. So they stop and then they play the lobbies instead. And then there's the lower end where lower end players can't find matches, or if they do, they're way out of their league. So rank becomes impossible to enjoy because even if they did find one that was within their range, it might not be. It'll be laggy. It'll be a laggy mess. So they stop playing ranked. And then there's the overworld, which everyone joins each other and plays each other on, and it's fun for a little while. But then people stop playing each other because there's no indication to how laggy some people are, and then they leave, and then they stop using that. And then we just get down to the player lobbies where people actually put up where they're from. East Coast. Like, that's why it's called East Coast. It's not because, we're East Coast. It's, hey, guys, if you live on the East Coast, come here because otherwise I'm not going to get a decent game. That's what that is. So they took all the information of what they saw, which Overworld isn't being played, Ranked isn't being played, and said, I guess just no one wants these, and then just did. And then they were like, okay, we're just going to combine it into some shitty lobby that is really cumbersome, and there'll be no more Ranked and no more Overworld. So I don't know. Obviously, that's what they looked at it like, right? They just saw that no one enjoyed it, and they didn't connect the dots that maybe that once they make the netcode actually good, that you could actually implement those kind of things. But the thing is, though, they were gonna do delayed netcode. They were. So it's not like it was too far. I think we were probably way too far into the development of the game to double back on how they were going to design the lobby, right?
Yeah, probably.
I can understand them not going back and then be like, well, let's try it now with the rollback. Because Because if they had rollback, then rank would be fine. I would just sit in the training room and just queue rank all day. But
Yeah,
we're not gonna get that. We're gonna get this. But you can still do quick match. I think you can still queue a quick match. But doesn't the quick match take you to that player lobby thing?
I think for the beta they didn't put like the actual like personal matches, so that's how the people worked around it. Like I think what they said is like when the actual game releases, you'll have your player match and stuff like that. That's independent of the lobby. That's my understanding of it.
I hope so. I hope we can queue player match, and it's just like the KOF lobby. That's all I want. Or they have the 4 separate like areas, and then you can have like 2 like 1v1, 1v1 like 4 times. That's what I want. Whether they're gonna do it or not, who knows? But you can't tell.
Your guess is good as mine, man. I mean, SNK apparently thought that was not a good idea anymore.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, what the hell? It's the same company. They just deliberately didn't make a functioning lobby for Samurai Showdown. It's the craziest thing ever. But for Guilty Gear specifically, I'm gonna try to overlook these 2 things because I think the things that matter the most to retaining people right now is good netcode and presentation, and it has both. So that can go way further than a player lobby, I think, for retention, right?
Yeah, I agree because like as long as you have again like it's playable online and like you said, there's good visual stuff to pull people in who are just kind of on the outside looking in. There's always going to be a community that will flock to some mechanics. It's just you're going to build a community if your game is playable. That's how I always look at it. Even if old school people might not like it or they do like it, there's always going to be like a new batch of people who are going to come in and be like, "This is the greatest game ever." And if you make it playable, it'll just last that much longer.
Yeah, because if you make it not playable, it's on a timer. It's got the fighting game death timer where I think like month 1, that's when everyone gets it, and then within that month, people who are not committed will just leave anyway. And then month 2, the people who are slightly interested are going to try to make the best of it. And then month 3, if the amount of people left is dwindling, so the quality of matches is becoming very, very bad. And then by month 4 or 5, usually if it's like an anime fighter, well, I say anime fighter, but if it's a fighting game that is not Street Fighter specifically, then by then your game has probably dwindled down online. I didn't say like at a local, right? But online is probably dwindled by half or more. Just simply because of the cycle of the netcode being bad. Once people start quitting, it makes it impossible for most people to enjoy their game without trudging through, without feeling like a chore. And at that point, you're just left with your hardcore people. And that's a small crowd.
Yep, and then they're all operating off Twitter or Discord or whatever your small social circle, so you're not just going to be able to play them just because.
Yeah.
And so you get the thing where like I still check the Samurai Showdown Reddit, and it's almost inevitable. You see someone's like, I saw this game, it was so cool. I saw like some streamers, like some of the Parsec stream. I thought it was so cool, I bought it, and then nobody was online. It was like, does anybody play this?
It's like, yeah, but only at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday.
And yeah, even then, it's like, because I turn it on every once in a while and be like, let me check. And then you can't get any ranked matches. You can't get any, just no player rooms except like occasional Japan one. And it's like, yeah, so I buy this game not knowing anything about the fighting game discords or the fighting game community. And I'm like, maybe I saw somebody, my friend was streaming it or something. And I'm like, oh man, let me buy that. And I buy it and I turn it on and there's nobody there. Like, what am I supposed to do for that? Like, no, they don't think about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, they can't. They're just some guy, right, that's not attached to this giant community. So the issue lying here is that even the main issue is that since the netcode is so poor, that even if someone wanted to enjoy the game late, they will never be able to do it because by then the game has exhausted its community. It will never be the way it was when you bought it like 2 months in. So it's almost like it's sad to say, but if you like fighting games And okay, let's say if you don't like fighting games, let's just say if you were just like on the fence about fighting games and the game is 5 months old, you almost have missed the boat entirely. It sucks to say, but it really is like that. And it's not intentional on the community's fault or anything, or people who like it. It's just the natural progression of game having nothing to do offline, game not working online, game online functionality being moderate at best sometimes, and then people being tired of it and then leaving. That's just the cycle of things. Unless you're Street Fighter 5 or Street Fighter.
I would even add Tekken to that with the newest one.
Well, that's like weird. That's a new thing.
That's why I specifically said the newest one.
Yeah.
But that's why Guilty Gear Strive has a big advantage, because like when you see like the YouTube clip from IGN and you see like Soul Bad Guy in all his glory throwing flames everywhere, you're like, yo, that's the sickest thing I've ever seen. You're gonna be able to go online and see people playing it, and you're just gonna be able to immerse yourself in it, for better or for worse. And you don't have to like go to Reddit, but is anybody here?
Yeah. I think that's the big. I have a lot of high hopes for Guilty Gear, and it's mainly because I have a sneaking suspicion that by a year after its release, it still will have at least 5,000 players in its player base, and that's not easy for a fighting game. I know that sounds crazy to anyone who plays like MOBAs and stuff, but for a fighting game, having 5,000 consistent players a day on Steam is really difficult to manage. Like, you almost never see that. You're lucky to have 100 if you're like any of these other games. I mean, hold up. Let me look at something real quick. Street Fighter 5 Steve activity.
Oh boy.
Okay, so Street Fighter 5, which is probably the most played fighting game right now, has an activity peak of... It has up and downs, obviously, throughout the day, but at its peak, it has like 3,000 players. And that's Street Fighter 5. That's a game that with an incredible legacy behind it, right? The first fighting game ever was Street Fighter. And then this game has everything you could want in terms of functionality. It has shitty netcode, but this game could have been what I think Guilty Gear will be.
Yeah,
possibly. But sadly, it did everything wrong.
But at the very least, you can still like turn it on as a new person,
and play
get in there and play people. Yeah, see, that's the big thing. Like a lot of us obsess over a lot of this stuff, like how the characters work, the balance works, and that's not to say that's not important, but like if you want to build like an actual base, you need to just be able to get in there and play people.
Yeah,
at the bare minimum.
See, luckily Street Fighter 5 has the name, right? So its base was huge when it started. So when it dwindled, now there's only like 4,000 people active right now. But it could have been like 20,000 people. So Guilty Gear, in my head, to me it's a niche fighting game still. I think if it can maintain 5,000 by next year, that's really good. But there's always a chance. Here's the thing. This game looks amazing. It looks amazing. It's that small percentage chance where we may actually have a fighting game with over 10,000 concurrent players that is not named Mortal Kombat.
It's possible. Like, I think marketing could go a long way, just for again, like how the game looks. Like we both mentioned that, and like the average person who's just looking probably thinks it looks amazing, even if they don't play fighting games. So there's a lot of potential there. So I expect it to do big things just based off that merit alone. If they make the lobby sensible, I think it'll even go any further. I think that's the only real bottleneck for it right now.
Yeah, it has a lot of potential. I mean, I'm looking at Mortal Kombat now, and it has actually about the same amount of players as Street Fighter.
I imagine that a lot of them are on console, too.
Yeah, because this is Steam. I'm just looking at Steam charts. But here's the thing: we're actually getting a PC version of Guilty Gear at the same time, which is unheard of to me. where we're getting well. So like for the longest time, most fighting games did not get simultaneous PC releases,
Yeah.
and now we're finally at the point where it's now is normal. It's just normal for fighting games to be on PC, and I'm
I mean,
hoping that it's for the better.
it wasn't even normal for us to get a worldwide release, man.
Yeah. You had to like order. You had to order like under night from like Japan, and then play with a Japanese PSN account.
Yeah, them Hong Kong accounts were doing work.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you just had to do it. You had no other option.
Like you still kind of see it, but it's like 2 weeks now, so it's the only people doing it. People who are just like, I gotta have it now.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. 2 week differential is whatever. So only people that do it is for a very slight competitive edge if there just happens to be a major around the corner or something. But I mean, yeah, I just want a game. I want a fighting game to have a concurrent player base of 10,000. If we can get that, and it's been like a year after the game is released or 2 years, I'll be happy. That way, we have a fighting game that I can tell people to play, and then I have to feel bad about it when there's a ghost town. I think that's Guilty Gear. But they need to make sure that whatever they're working on, it's gonna fix it's gonna fix whatever problem existed. I can't think of anything else anyone complained about other than maybe some gameplay stuff like Gatlings or.
But you can't really avoid that.
Yeah, we can't talk them into putting Gatlings back in.
So like it's like you can avoid like the issues with the lobby, the issues with but you can't. No matter what kind of game mechanics you make, you can't avoid that.
Yeah, you can't avoid someone not liking it. People are not gonna like certain game mechanics. But if the game comes out fully functioning with that great rollback and the presentation and a decent tutorial, we may have a good fighting game on our hands.
Yeah,
that we can tell people that are not fighting game players to play.
Definitely. Like the other thing would be like if KOF the rollback and stuff is actually happening as said, that's because that game has the Street Fighter Legacy name outside of North America, so it has the potential to be massive if done right.
I just can't wait. I hope it's good. All I can do is just hope it's good. That's all anyone can do. All right, so that's all I had to say about Guilty Gear. I don't think there's anything else. Did you like it?
I didn't actually play people. I just went in training mode and looked at it a bit because I'm not really a beta kind of person as far as like playing them because I know it's gonna change and I don't get all that attached to it. So I just went and said just to see what they did with the characters and stuff, but it seemed all right.
Did you like anything you found with Faust or anything?
He's definitely different. I don't really know how to parse that yet until like I actually do sit down and like really lab and play people. But it's definitely different. And there's a lot of people who in the Faust Discord who don't care for it. A lot of people who are pretty neutral. There's a few people who's like, yeah, this is whatever. I'll rock with it.
I look at plus R Faust and I look at Exard Faust and then I look at this Faust, and this Faust just looks like so anemic compared to the older Faust. But we haven't played the game more than 4 days, so there's no telling, obviously. But I hope my only issue with these kind of games, these newer fighting games, is that I always have this issue with games feeling anemic because the characters become shells of what they were. So you don't get more out of these new versions, right? You just get less. And I understand why they do it. Is so these new players don't feel overwhelmed because these characters were given a lot and there's just a lot they can do. But at the end of the day, I guess it's all subjective whether that's good or bad. To me, I think it's bad. I don't know if other people think it's good, but I don't enjoy that. I just hate looking at a character that's been fine tuned for like 20 years over multiple games, and then there's like, I throw in the trash.
Nah, I understand that. Though I do have a different opinion on it, just in general, because I don't think that those characters are generally fine tuned. I think that some legacy thing got put in there because somebody thought it was funny in 1999, and then it just becomes like a glaring spot on the game that nobody wanted to change. Like if you look, like you said, Faust. Let's look at him for a second.
All right.
So plus R and Xrd, this character has immense space control, the ability to knock you out of your own correct choices if depending on the item he gets. He has the unblockable command grab. He has a lot of jump cancel normals. It's just the character is built in a way that it is really hard to beat him without specific character tools. And so like when they make each, like when they made XR, they still kind of gutted him a little bit, but they kept the whole spirit of the character. And you can tell like this is the same character that's been, from the XX series. And so when you get to Strive, where they're trying to rearrange some things, if they like say they kept the spirit of the character like from Zerd, he'd probably have like all those things that are hard to balance and counter around. Because I think you say anemic, and I think that is correct, but there's also like this emerging design process where they're trying to make sure that if this character can do something, they can also get punished, and for doing something, they can also be counterplayed. Because with a lot of those legacy stuff, sometimes those things weren't taken into an account, and you kind of see them persist in games that kind of stood their ground, like Samurai Showdown and Guilty Gear, games where the characters, for the most part, not counting Strive, kind of stayed intact. It's the way they acted and when the tools they have, and then you can see the effect of those tools kind of never really change. And so, like, I kind of see that they're trying to get around that, and I think they kind of do it the wrong way by making the characters feel like they should have less. I do agree with you on that, but I kind of see why they're doing it too.
Like I said, I understand why they're doing it. Not good, but I know why they're doing it. It's the whole reason why I don't like 5, because when you parse these characters and separate them from what they were, they're not even the same anymore. You might as well just make a brand new character. To me,
man, that man Akuma out there still doing all the same stuff.
Yeah, well, they let him. They let him pretty much be almost the same. So that's why he's so fucking good. Now, I will say this: he'd probably be even better if he was actually Akuma. But I mean, this is my issue with making characters anemic, right? So, let me not use 5 for example. It's easy to beat up on that game. Let me think of how about what other game has stripped their character? I'm trying to think of games that just fuck their characters over. Street Fighter 5. Strive is like the beginning, because XR didn't feel like that too much. Like when I go back to play Plus R, I can see the old characters in XR.
I don't know, man.
Except for Jam. Except for Jam. You ask.
Because you could go Soul in his Sidewinder loops. Because Soul players will cry about that all day. Faust lost a ton of Gatlings, stronger items. Kai, he had that wall bounce move. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, they got rid
of Slayer lost a lot of moves.
It seems like the moves they removed from Plus R to XR. It seems like they removed a lot of like combo extenders that literally existed for the sake of extension of a combo.
Yeah, but when you play Soul, you love them combos, man.
Yeah, everyone likes Sidewinder loops. Unless you're the one on the other side of it.
So, like, yeah, I mean, there's definitely there. Like, they removed a lot of Gatling's jump cancels, and they added stuff. Don't get me wrong, but like, I guess, like, if you were like a diehard Accent Core Plus R player, there's a lot of people who will like complain that their character is not that great. Like the big obvious one, Potemkin.
They're afraid of that character. I feel like
apparently not anymore.
Not anymore. They clearly were afraid of that character though, and then this new version of the character, they were not afraid to let him go. I don't know what. It's funny because Pot isn't really like he got to keep most of his moves, so I think that's why he's so strong.
Yeah, the system, they put him in a system where he's really strong, and he's pretty much the same. Like in XR, the screen is better. You have stuff like Blitz to challenge his safe jump, pressure, and just in general, his hammer fall is not unpunishable, or at least punishable if you instant block it with the right spacing. it's like negative 20 something in Zerd, and then like in Strive is negative 5. And so like he has all those really good tools, and not and a lot of the checks that were in the previous
Yeah,
games
they're
are
gone
not
now.
there. So he's just like, it's like the chains just came off of him. He's still pretty much the same, but now people gotta like respect the hell out of him.
Yeah, now he's just like a solid character because everyone else is either weaker or they don't use the system as strongly as he does. But it's funny, like that's what I feel. That's why I guess that was the point I was trying to make, is that that's what they feel. That's why they do this when they strip the characters. They're afraid of this exact scenario where if they don't take something away, because the new system is restrictive, I guess is the way that I wanted to come across.
Yeah,
Because I guess it's not really the character's fault. Most of the time, it's the system's fault. Because the system they make, it's like if you bring these characters without removing some of their stuff that is actually not too crazy in the older version, but if you don't get rid of it, the new system makes it so that they're way too powerful. And the only time I think about it like this is like, I guess the way you thought about it is like, you know how like plus R to X hard, right? They probably removed a lot of those moves because with YRC, it might just be too busted. Like,
yeah, that's very possible.
Which I can understand removing one move that would just be undeniably overpowered. But my issue is when they rework a character from scratch because he would just be too powerful. like Ramathal. I understand Ramathal would be too strong. Even though in XR she's not good, right? Because they gutted her like crazy with patches. But that version of Ramathal in the new system where you can't like just bypass her stuff, you fucked. So I guess they got rid of it. I guess they were like, well, the Ramathal is going to be a brand new character now.
Yeah, I think they took that approach to a good amount of characters. Like, and then it's to different degrees, right? Like if you put Pot at the end, where it's like they just tweaked them a bit, and then you put like characters like Faust and Ramathal at the end, where it's like, let's reimagine this character in this system. I think that's what they did. So that's why I don't look at it as like the nerfs or buffs or whatever. I just like, this is a new character. I think that's the better way to look at it, because I think that's how they approached it.
It's the only way you can look at it, because the Ramathal is not even close to what she was. The goal is not even the same anymore. And then you got characters like Chip, who is almost uniquely like, they just remove a lot of his moves. And then they make, I guess they were so scared of Gamma Blade that they had to make it trash. At that point, they just got rid of the move.
I don't know if you've seen Shin Kenso. He's a long time plus R XR Chip player. He actually has a pretty high opinion of Chip in Strive.
Well, I was playing Chip, and he feels fun. I just couldn't understand why Gamma Blade, I get damaged.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. Like a lot of stuff I'm just like kind of holding back on. Like, because even with Potemkin, like once people start playing, even then they might have been like, okay, so like he's really good, but we can stop him here and there. So it's hard to tell from like, what was it, like basically sporadically playing for 4 days or so. So like I'm gonna bite my tongue until like I can actually sit down, dig deep, watch people play, and see how it turns out.
Yeah, I think we'll know in about 3 or 4 months. I would normally say it would take longer, but with social media and word of everyone talking to each other, it seems like tech evolves very quickly these days.
Yeah. I always think about that. Like if a game like ST or something came out these days, it would just like got ripped apart like in an instant.
Oh yeah, we would have had all the unblockables in like 3 days. But now it takes some more work. I think that's, I don't know. I think it's good because it means we get to the highest point of the game quicker.
Yeah. It's just there's no more obscurities. Like this guy in Denver, he figured out like if you hit this move with Geef, you get the SPD for free. I don't believe that.
You'll never see it until you play that guy in Denver.
Yeah,
that's funny. That's also cool in a different way, but we're way past that. Obviously, you'll know about it sooner or later. Even if a guy is hiding the shit, I mean, it's gonna be streamed at some point.
And somebody else will find it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even hide it from the replay channel.
That too. Unless you played DBFZ where you can turn on the anime music and then the copyright strikes kick in and it doesn't save your replays.
Oh yeah, nice. That's one tactic I guess you could always do. They never find out my Broly tech.
Yeah, that's what the Japanese players did because who was it? One of the Japanese players, I think it was Fenric. He's like, I'm so sick of these vulture channels putting my channel getting views off my replays. And then someone told him that tech, and then he started. That's why I don't know if it's like Yoga Flame or Zeus's or whatever. That's why some of them like had a big drop off on their DBFZ content.
They would have to re-put music over it, and then if you do that, then you can't hear sound effects of the fight. That would be lame.
No, so how it works is if you buy that DLC anime music and you play online, it will not save your replays because it's copyrighted music.
Oh, it just won't save it at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. So they didn't even have the opportunity to even try what I said. Nice.
Yeah.
Damn.
You can't even do like the you can't stream it from your PlayStation or console if you have the anime music playing.
That is actually pretty good tech. So I guess every game needs an anime music pack, so you can hide your content. That's not a bad decision. But I guess the problem at that point is that if you're streaming, then you can't stream your own shit then.
Yeah, I mean you can get your Twitch strike, but that's not a decision. I think that's something they just kind of had to do because of the nature of who owned the music.
You know what? I guess there's a one way around it. You could always play the music. You can always set the music and then mute your music when you're playing online, and then just fill the music in later. You can edit music in later. That's a good way to do it, and then you're foolproof at that point. Because then at that point, if they put it on the channel, it's straight up theft. Like they just know there's no other way around it. They stole it from the channel.
Yeah. So some of them steal that shameless.
What's your feelings on this, by the way? What's your feelings on that? Like, just people like using channel because Yoga. It's funny because back then it was just Yoga Flame, and no one cared because no one streamed really. Like people streamed, but not really that many people. Streaming is the FGC streaming is was very underdeveloped back then. So people who were trying to get their name out, Yoga Flame uploading their stuff was like, hey, that's me. Like, I'm glad Yoga Flame uploaded me. Right? So it's different now. Like, people don't want to.
Yeah, people are in charge of their own content now.
Yeah, it's completely different landscape now. And I guess it kind of makes those channels obsolete now because no one wants them to upload their stuff. Which sucks because Yoga Flame technically was doing a good thing back then. And now it's like, I don't know. I don't know what he does now. But he's been around a long time doing this, so I don't know what he's going to do.
I think they still do it, depending on the game and stuff. But yeah, it's like even then, like the market is getting rougher because more people are going to go on the replay channel on their own. But I guess for those who don't, like I still see stuff like Grand Blue replays being played on there and stuff like that. So I think it's still there, but like stuff like stream sniping that people used to do, yeah, that's definitely something that it's looked down upon.
Oh yeah,
and people started fighting back real hard on that.
It's also funny that we're bringing that back up. There was a time where people that streamed their videos, like tournaments, would not upload them to YouTube.
They would not. Many of them would actually just be lost to time.
Yeah, there's a ton of tournaments I know about that exist on YouTube only on 12-year-old accounts that are completely inactive. And, and we're just lucky they're there because otherwise we would have no place to watch them. Like a lot of the Street Fighter 4 tournaments aren't actually on the streamer channels at all. Like the old ones, and they're only on there. Some really old matches are only on YouTube as like some stolen art.
Yeah. Because like you had Arturo and others like championing it, but then you'd see like tournaments that were streamed. Because I remember Texas Showdown. I wanted to see my matches, or somebody's not my matches, but there was a friend of mine competing, and I went to go check the Twitch channel and they didn't save Twitch pods. I'm like, oh, do they have a YouTube? I checked their YouTube and the YouTube was like updated like 2 years ago from that point. I was like, and then it's like it never came up, and I guess they just said, screw it, we don't want this anymore, or we're not gonna upload it. And it's like, there's just so much stuff that just got lost because Again, a streamer doesn't want to upload to YouTube or whatever reason.
It's crazy because these days it's hard to imagine someone want to go through all the effort of setting up a stream and not wanting to save the video in some kind of way.
Yeah.
But back then, it was normal. Like, there's a lot of... Even majors. Like, the Capcom majors back in Street Fighter 4 just don't have video at all on the internet. It makes me wonder that some of these clips that from the Capcom Pro Tour they have on like in between of Street Fighter 4, it makes me wonder if they even have those in their archive or if they just stole them from a YouTube guy that sold their stuff.
I know, like when Capcom got their team together, they started being pretty meticulous with their archives. So, but I think that wasn't until I don't know. I want to say like I think the last year of Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, it wasn't until Ultra. That was the only year I remember them actually archiving their stuff. That's it. Anything prior to that is gone. Or it's on some rando's YouTube channel that stole it. Which, for better or for worse, I'm glad it's there.
Yeah, so like I still look stuff up, and then like I try not to link because I know like I've been in Discords where certain streamers are in there, and then I don't want to like link pirated streams because some of them are not sensitive about it. But then I'll be like, well, I can't find it anywhere else. So what do I do?
Yeah, the VOD is gone, man. This is all we got. Is a fucking picture of the art. It's almost like if the Mona Lisa got burnt and someone snapped a photo of it, and it was the only photo we had left. That's all we got left. It's like you just have to hold that shit.
You just go ahead and tape it on the wall, man.
Yeah, sorry, man. We're just gonna tape this on the wall. But is it the real Mona Lisa? Well, do you have the real Mona Lisa? No? Well, that's a fucking shame.
I liked it too, man, but we gotta move on.
I can't believe that's just so many tournaments back then like that. Mine are archived. I archived all my tournaments, but still, I mean,
you had people doing it like Funky P. Like he always archives and stuff because he's just that type of person.
Yeah, every time we talk about Funky P, he just comes up as like a meticulous guy.
I mean, he has the success to match it, and so that's what it is.
I mean, that's how you get ahead. You got to do it right before everyone else does.
Yeah, because there's definitely a lot of people not. I mean, even fighting games themselves work that way, right? Even when the game's been out, even when you have all the tech from social media and all that stuff, people don't do it. They're not gonna go look it up. They're not gonna practice it. The average person is just not gonna put any actual effort into like the game outside of like grinding their combos and playing a lot. And so, if you do your due diligence, you can get ahead of the pack pretty fast in a lot of games.
Doing your due diligence in anything is fucking a lot of work.
That is true as well. That is true as well.
I'm trying to stream again, right? And just archiving my shit correctly, and then making a thumbnail and uploading it, and then being like on time with everything, and then making sure to do it every day. It's actually a lot of work, and I can see why a lot of people don't bother to fucking like make a YouTube channel if they're a streamer. Like sometimes they just like I'm just a streamer, like because at that point you throw away the responsibility of having to upload VODs onto people who steal from your channel and upload to YouTube, right? And at that point you don't care because you're not trying to make money from there anyway. And that's why when I watch people like Eris, they just pay someone to do it. They're just like, hey, no parents do it.
Yeah, like having somebody like to edit to make sure everything quality, if it's quality as I saw, is a great thing. Like even then, like Twitch nowadays, it has the YouTube export button. So if you're just like lazy, you could just dump it on there raw at the very least.
Yeah. See, I don't try to do that though. I actually record a higher quality offline version than the online stream version and try to upload it that way. That way, at the very least, I can manually clip out stuff that is not actual stuff that I want in the recording. But you're right. I'm glad they put that thing there. But the whole point is that to do things right is a lot of work.
Yeah, that's why so many people get ahead, right?
Yep, that's why they get ahead. Well, so not everyone gets ahead by doing things right. Sometimes they just fucking get lucky, or
they
either get lucky or they do the things wrong, and then they get ahead by cutting corners. But there's a lot of ways to get ahead, but hopefully your way is doing the right thing.
Typically, you can do the right thing and nobody will notice. Usually, somebody has to notice. That's where that phrase "look" is just when preparation meets opportunity.
That's a phrase.
Because yeah,
I've never heard of that.
yeah,
Preparation meets opportunity.
yeah.
So explain it to me.
So, like in the case where you're doing everything right, and an opportunity would be some big shot sees it, and you're able to show it off, or it becomes a commodity somehow, and you stand ahead because you've been getting it right already, stuff like that.
Gotcha. So you're saying since you already had the shit good to go, if the moment ever happens, you already got it there.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, so now I'm gonna talk about something else now.
Go ahead, man.
It's funny because I don't know. I want to talk to you about this because I don't know your feelings on it or anything, but I gotta talk about this. It's not fighting game related at all. Well, maybe it is. It might be. I hope the guy won't be, but we're gonna talk about it.
Go ahead.
So you looked it up. I talked to you a little bit about it, but I talked to you about the game Outriders, right?
Yeah.
So that game is the best way is explained to me. It's like Borderlands and Gears of War put together. So it's like a looter shooter, and you run around doing quests and you fucking pick up guns and equipment and shit, right? And you make classes and all kinds of shit. Really, just sounds like Borderlands, right? And
yeah.
So that game, I was kind of interested in getting it. I didn't know anything about it, but when it was explained to me that way, I watched a little bit of it because I was watching Bates and one of my friends RFD play with each other. I was like, this game does look kind of interesting, and it really does feel like I'm watching Borderlands, but like a more realistic one. I guess it looks like a more serious Borderlands, and I was thinking, oh, maybe we'll try this, and then I downloaded it, right, $60, and I was like, I don't mind paying $60 for like a higher quality Borderlands game, and so I went to play the game, and Bates comes into my room while I'm doing the tutorial, and he goes, "Hey, are you on?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "How?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm just doing the tutorial." He's like, "Well, no one." He's like, "Well, the servers are down." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I'll just play with you whenever the servers go back up." And in my head, I thought, well, that just means we can't play with each other, right? Because the servers are down. But I didn't equate it to the game won't work. So I'm playing the training tutorial, and eventually the tutorial kicks me out, and it says it cannot connect to servers. And I'm like, that's a little odd. Well, let me queue the game again, and it won't let me log in. Not even the beginning. It won't let me get past the menu. And I thought to myself, what the fuck?
Oh man.
I was like, this can't be right. There's no way I can't play this game without being online.
Oh man.
And I tried to log in again to play again, and it kicked me out again after trying to do a little bit of the training room again. And at that point, I refunded the game. And I had to wonder, what did I download on my computer? Because the game was 60 gigs or something like that. And I'm like, so what part of the 60 gigs on my computer can I play? None? So I don't own anything. So I didn't buy anything. I rented this game for $60. And I thought about it. I was like, why? In my head, I'm trying to quantify why I can't play this game, right? Because obviously, if this game is only playable online, it has to be like an MMORPG or something like that. But no, that can't be right, because I can play Phantasy Star Online offline. I can play Borderlands 2 offline. I can play all kinds of fucking games offline that have identical content to the online but offline, like these kind of games, right? So, at what point did this game have to be online only? And the reason I'm talking about this is because I had a similar issue, which is funny. I'm bringing this up to you because I said I wasn't going to make this fighting game related. But I bought Samurai Showdown for Epic Games from Epic Games. And Epic Games will not allow me to play Samurai Showdown offline. Now, that sounds stupid, doesn't it? That sounds really stupid. No one could hear me say those words out loud and not think, damn, that's dumb. So, why are we buying these games that we don't own?
That's a good question. Actually, when you were describing Outriders, two specific instances came to my mind. The first one was the big one, Assassin's Creed. I forget which one, but Ubisoft put in an online check. Like, you didn't have to be online to play it, but it had an online check where it would send a ping to the server, like, this guy's online, okay, let him keep playing. This guy's online, okay, he keep playing. All right, he's not offline. All right, I think we pirated here, so we're gonna have to shut the game off, or send them to the main menu or whatever. And some people screamed about it, and Ubisoft took it out. But like, that was like a big example where people were like, yeah, we're not doing that. And the other one is the one that personally made me mad. Final Fight is probably my favorite game of all time. It's definitely our favorite arcade game. And so when Capcom announced Final Fight Double Impact, they had Final Fight and then like all the concept art and all that. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I went on PSN and I bought it. And at the time, I was living with my mom, and then I didn't have the and my internet went down. So I was like, oh, I'll play some Final Fight. And the game said, well, we cannot load the game. I forget the message, but the game won't load. And so I'm like, what? And I look it up, and it turned out that Capcom put a DRM that says if you are not online, not logged into PSN, you cannot play this game at all. And so I was like, that doesn't sound right. And then I that's what he said. And then I went and looked at the listing, and it's like there's no thing on here that says you have to be online to play. There is now, but at the time when you look on the PSN listing that was on PS3 store, it's like it did not say that, and so people screamed about it. So what Capcom did was they edited the listing to say you have to be online to play. And I was so mad. I was like, I already spent my money on this, and keep in mind, and whenever I told people about this at the time, people would be like, well, come on, everybody has the internet. Everybody's like,
that dumbass take. Yeah.
And then, but then what's funny is when was it Team Lizard brought down PSN for what, like 6 months or something? You remember that?
Yeah. What was that like? That was like 2014 or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was a while back, but PSN was down for like a half a year or so.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and I was like, "There you go. There's your case right there."
Yeah, it's just not funny now. Well, everyone's got the internet.
Yeah, I was like, "That's." I do not like that kind of aggressive DRM is pointless, and yeah, whoever's playing Outriders should be screaming at them.
Well, my issue is that I'm not gonna say who said this, but you probably know already, because he likes to be the Mr. Counterpoint. But the way it was worded to me, it's not like he believes that DRM is good. DRM is it's not good ever. But the way he likes to think about it is like, well, I'm not gonna play the game 6 years from now, so why do I care if I can't play it?
Oh man, that is pretty common actually, because the PSN store for PS3 and PSP and Vita are gone, right?
Yeah.
Or they're going to be gone rather. And so it's like, and then a lot of people are like, well, you can still download your games, but like, everyone like people buy their they buy their SNS consoles, and they'll collect the games and still play them even years later, right? Or they'll show it to their kids. It's like, if I buy a PS3 15 years from now, I can't I can't buy a bunch of DLC. There's a bunch of digital games that are specific to PS3 that I can't get. And it's like, nobody thinks about that. Or they'll dismiss it, be like, well, nobody wants to play those old games, the classic, or you can still download the stuff, or, you can buy on an Xbox Live, or whatever the case is. But it's like, or the game, the system is supposed to go out of, what is it? The system was designed to go obsolete whenever it comes out, but that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like my VHS player didn't stop working when the DVD player came out. Like, because they have to understand this. when people make this dumbass argument, you have to understand that you are enabling companies to forfeit things you own for no reason that is necessary at all, because they don't have to forfeit this. Now, in the case of PSN going down, the real crime here is that for some reason the PS3 and the PS4, so everyone on the PS4 knows that this is going to happen to them now. Whenever the internal battery clock goes out on the PS3, there's some kind of internal DRM on the PS3. And when the internal battery clock goes out, it has to connect the PSN again to reaffirm the time. And if it doesn't do that, it will not allow you to play any game offline. So you can't even play your discs. So what's the excuse for that shit? Like, why did it need that? Like, did you have to have DRM attached to a clock? Like, what the fuck? I just don't get. I know why they do it. There's an obvious reason why companies will begin to do that. Obviously, Sony's just ahead of the curve. Like, they're way ahead of everybody. So, because most games didn't do this shit until, like, PS4 era, in my head, right? There was still some DRM here and there in terms of you have to be online to do this. Now, most games back during the Xbox 360 and PS3 days, not really very many had that issue.
Mm-hmm.
But Sony's so ahead of the fucking game that they made an entire console brick. Now, it reminds me of like Capcom with their fucking what's it called? Their CPS2 boards that had batteries in them. Same exact concept. It's the same concept from like so Capcom's even more ahead. So by the way, Capcom Street Fighter fans, just know your company's fucking trash because they've been doing this shit since the beginning. They're the first ones to do this shit. So blame them. So
I don't know if you heard. Like, this was a while ago because somebody was complaining about that on SRK forums that the Third Strike batteries were dying, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, someone found out that you could take the second impact and kind of flash Third Strike.
Yeah, you can just put Third Strike on it.
and then that battery didn't have the same problems.
Yeah, so that was the way around it. And now we have the technology to emulate the CPS2 boards and the CPS3 boards and all the old arcade games. We have like a hardware that is hardware emulation. I don't know if you heard of the Mister. But
yeah, I've been seeing that a lot.
Yeah, the Mister essentially can emulate hardware perfectly. So it doesn't. We don't technically have to lose these games now, right? Because we have something that can actually make it 100% perfect, as opposed to doing software emulation where the shit's fucking laggy. But the whole reason I'm bringing it up is that Capcom's only reason to put the suicide boards on was to prevent two things: one, possible piracy, and two, to force people to buy the game again. And that's exactly what this is with Sony. So they made the console brick, so you have to buy PS3 games when they get put out on the PS5 as downloadable content in the future, just to buy it again, just so you can play it again. Because you won't have a choice, actually, in this until someone figures out how to do like a mod on the PS3 to prevent the DRM from checking. You won't have a choice in the matter. And you'll have to do something.
PS3?
You'll have to jailbreak. You'll have to do some kind of like modification on the PS3 to emulate the DRM.
Oh, okay.
Or like to make it like not have to check. Now there may be something for it. I think the PS3 is too new. It's that era of gaming where online was normal, right?
Yeah.
But my Dreamcast is like the beginning of online console. So this Dreamcast does not have anything inside to check the validity of anything. So we can do things like I'm buying what's called like a GDEMU, and it allows me to take out the optical disk drive inside of the Dreamcast and replace it with like another mod that holds an SD card that can just load games from there, and it's perfect 1-to-1. Like it's a 1-to-1 like perfect gameplay because the optical disk drive, it's just replicating that. So it's still playing all the games on the actual board. So it's still authentic. But There's nothing in the Dreamcast forcing the Dreamcast to keep talking online.
This man says he's supposed to be playing Sega Bass Fishing.
It's not telling somebody in the Sega server room that I'm not supposed to be playing Sega Bass Fishing. So since it's not doing that, I can enjoy my games on my Dreamcast forever. So the PS3, on the other hand, is on that fringe line where these companies are starting to do this bullshit. It's the same thing with just think of Street Fighter 5. Just think of Street Fighter 5. Let's just say for whatever support goes down for Street Fighter 5 for the computers or whatever, and for the PS5 or PS4, there's no disc with all these characters on it, right? Like, there's 2 seasons missing on Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition, I think. So, if we ever reach a point in the future where, hey man, I love Street Fighter 5 when I was 5, man. It's like they're like 27 now.
Yeah.
And they're like, you want to play Street Fighter 5? And they'll pop the disc in, and it won't work because the PS5 fucking suicided on them. And then they're like, well, I guess we can't play on the PS5. And then they're like, well, let me just load up on Steam. Oh, well, I guess they discontinued the server, so I won't check and just won't load now. And then there's like, well, I guess we just can't play Street Fighter 5.
Have to boot up the Street Fighter 5 caster.
Yeah, it'll have to be a hacked version of Street Fighter 5 emulated on the PC or some crazy shit, right? It'll be some nonsense like that. But then, even then, right? Those characters are DLC. So if someone didn't like save like the actual final version of the game, and they just use a disc to be emulated, those characters are not on the disc. So you just won't have those final 2 seasons, or the costumes. It kind of reminds me of Phantasy Star Universe, where I played Phantasy Star Universe, and there was a lot of content that was only online, and you can still play offline, but the offline was completely different from the online. And it's weird because Phantasy Star Online, which was before this one, it was pretty much 1-to-1 with the online experience. Save a few, like maybe 15 quests you couldn't do, right? But majority of the game was still there, right? Like everything navigated the same. But in Universe, almost the entire online game is separate from the offline. There's no 1-to-1 at all. It's like not even close. It's not even fucking close. And if you want to enjoy it, well, I guess it's not true. It's not 1,000% different, but a majority of it is. If you want to enjoy this entire second expansion, you have to there's no way to do it because there's like one guy that's trying to resurrect this fucking 20-year-old game right now, and he's like, man, fuck Sega. They didn't do this and that, and I don't have a way to obtain these files. I don't know what to do this, that, and it's like, well, I guess people who didn't play Phantasy Star Universe back in the day, you just out of luck. If you ever wanted to find out why your daddy liked Phantasy Star Universe, you fucked.
Yeah, I think the same is true for the PS2 Monster Hunter because I already had to shut the service down for that. So if you ever just want to hey, you call up your buddies, hey, put in Monster Hunter for your PS2, man. Like the old days, you can't do it anymore.
You know what's cool though is that in this case, that Phantasy Star Online, whoever archived the game correctly, they host a hack server that completely emulates the online experience correctly. So nice. Anyone who has the Dreamcast version of the game or has the Blue Burst, the game, on their computer, they can actually enjoy online as it was back in the day. So that's cool. Now, Monster Hunter, I mean, I don't know how many people have Monster Hunter for the PS2 willing to fucking plug the PS2 into the DSL port and
I just looked it up. There's that someone actually did the same thing for Monster Hunter.
I figured, there's those people that keep the shit going, man. But that's because back then they archived the shit. Now, a lot of these games, if the game is too complicated online, like it's too complicated in terms of what has to happen, then it's not as easy to do. But these older games, a majority of the game is already on the disc, right? So a lot of the more complicated things are just server related, I'm assuming. So if you just know how to do that part, you're good. But since someone did that for Monster Hunter, they can do it on the PS2 if they feel like it, I guess. But they would probably have to type in a specific IP address and a DNS in order to do it. But it's still cool. It's there, right? We will never games on the Xbox and PS3 and up. That's gone. Like you fucked. Like more than likely you're fucked. There's probably some instances where the games are simple enough that they don't have the issue, but I think for the most part, you probably can't do it. I think. I don't know. I'm not an expert.
Curious about it now because I know, you can emulate like PS3 and get all the DLC and stuff, but I don't know if you could play like the online games. Like, can you emulate like Final Fantasy 14?
Yeah, I don't know the specifics and how complicated it is to do that. I'm just talking about like my experience of using it, I guess. And seeing people struggle. I just know the guys that work on Phantasy Star Universe, they're having a hard time keeping it up or keeping it put together because they're missing so many parts, and that information just doesn't exist. Because I don't think Phantasy Star Universe existed at a time where people were worrying about it.
Yeah, probably not. And then like a lot of these companies, they don't keep source code around or they lose it.
No, they're just like, oh, that's gone. Whoops. But yeah, that's why DRM is bad. Not that online games have the same problem. I understand online games going down eventually, right? Right. No one's gonna bark at them for that. I can understand. Let's say Outriders outlives its fucking life expectancy, and the servers have to go down. But there's really no reason why that guy can't play offline. Like, why is that not an offline option? Like, to play offline.
I mean, even then, like more and more companies are offering like the ability to make your own servers. Like, if Minecraft servers go down, you have all the tools you need to make your own Minecraft servers, and so like you don't have to worry about that. And I think that's a good thing.
I hope they do that. I mean, they really need. I really just don't. I just hate DRM, and I hate the nonchalant attitude people have about it. Because honestly, aside from me playing Dark Souls, I really just don't like playing. It's funny because I refer to Dark Souls as a newer game because I really don't play newer games at all outside of fighting games. But outside of like Dark Souls that I played recently, I don't really like playing newer games, mainly because they don't seem to retain as well as older games. Because there's always that feeling that I have to buy DLC. If I want to play this game at optimal experience, I probably have to get 7 patches in a DLC. So I'd rather play these older games that were designed to be working out the box for a full experience, and anything else is just plus. So I don't really play newer games that much. I kind of hover around playing GameCube, Dreamcast era, PS2 games, and back. And then there's like a huge time skip to where I'm playing current fighting games. Like, there's a big gap. Like, there's not many games I play just simply because I have to buy DLC now to. Because it never feels like I'm buying a whole game with these newer games. And I have to always buy these games plus the DLC to feel like it's a complete game. And then there's always a DRM. Because now I can't enjoy the DLC. Like, a lot of these games, if there's probably DRM on it, I can't enjoy the DLC unless I'm online.
Yeah, it's usually how it works. Because a lot of games will do a check, like checking for downloadable content, and some of them will do a check online. Some of them will actually be nice enough to check locally, but like you don't know. You have no way of knowing what's gonna happen.
Yeah, there's no way to tell. Sometimes these games they do check locally. Like, I don't have a problem. I think Borderlands is one of those games where I get. That's why I keep bringing up Borderlands. Like, I think Borderlands never gave me any problems with playing by myself offline. I just downloaded the shit, and then I just stayed offline and played on my own. And now these games come out half an experience, and then you don't even own them, and then you have to buy DLC. It really is a bad rap, and I just don't like the way things are going. I really don't. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Obviously, I have to keep my gaming's my hobby, and I think I'm gonna become a hermit and just play these old ass games forever. But it's just a shame. I don't. It's a shame because if I ever for somehow have a kid, my kid is gonna miss out on my adult year gaming. I'm not gonna be able to show him most of those games.
Unless somebody comes up with some solution, right?
Yeah, unless someone fucking pirates it, which I'm pretty sure that's how we're gonna go. I'm almost sure that gamers are just gonna become like mass pirators eventually.
I mean, that's how it is now. I mean, even if you like talk about old stuff again, like a lot of source code is missing, a lot of that hardware is just down. So someone has to like either, like you said, build something like the Mystery or build some software to run it. And so like a lot of arcade games that haven't lost the time because most people are not gonna buy cabs or even just the boards. And so it's like there's a lot of arcade games from like all over the world that have been made all over the years. So like a lot of that stuff's preserved to emulation. So like it's always kind of been the case. So like I always side eye somebody be like, don't emulate the game. Like obviously if you talk about like some indie developer who has like a $5 gardening game, yeah,
There's
yeah, yeah. But
even then, I'm pretty sure that developer doesn't have DRM on it.
Yeah, they probably don't, and they probably don't care, right?
Yeah,
it's most people like fighting over stuff like AAA game. If you're pirating the latest Demon Souls remake, oh, tisk tisk tisk. I don't care.
Yeah, fuck those guys. Because they already sold you the same game twice, and then so don't feel bad. Like, come on now. They're like, don't do it. The company treated you well. I'm like, when did the company treat me well? When I had to log in and it verified 5 times.
Yeah, I don't care about.
Please enter your social security number.
yeah, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna obviously support like the little guy out there trying to get the game out, but even then, like, I mean, game preservation, that's the future of it. People cry about it, but that's how it is.
No, we totally need an archive. I know this is like crazy talk, but we definitely need like a gaming archive that's complete with everything, just to preserve people's pastimes. I mean, it's not even. I really wish like a library. We need like a gaming library where everything just exists in one spot, so that if anyone ever wants to go back and get the game they paid for, they can. I think the fucking worst part is that a lot of people have this argument about piracy, and I'm like, majority of these people pay for the games they like. Like,
yeah,
it's just we don't want to. Like, people wouldn't pirate if buying games was easy and playing them forever was easy. We wouldn't have to do this. But guess what? Here we are. There's a timer on our fucking games for some reason, and we don't know why. Like, we can't fathom why we have timers on our fucking games.
Yeah, because they want you to keep buying it, like you said. But even like stuff like Super Nintendo, right? The batteries in the carts are gonna die eventually. You can replace them, but so like it's still good just on that merit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even if the batteries, because not all the Super Nintendo games have batteries, right? Just the ones with save files, I guess. But
yeah, I think so.
Because the battery really just retains the save information.
Mm-hmm.
But if the game itself needs to be, so if the game itself has been preserved on this game library, then whoever that guy is, instead of trying to hold on to his Super Nintendo and his 1,000 game cartridges that are all going to die eventually, he can just have a Mister and one Super Nintendo controller, and then he's fine.
That's the life, right there.
That's the life. Yeah, like what? Like, there's just no reason to prevent people from. I just don't. It just seems greedy. It just seems greedy because most of these companies have already made their money on these games 5 times over, and it just seems greedy to try to make more money on a game they made 25 years ago. That they have no intention to re-release. By the way, like, they have no intention. Like, just look at fucking Nintendo. Why the fuck did Nintendo take off the Mario games?
you gotta have that fear of missing out, man.
Why? There's really no reason for it. They didn't benefit anybody. All they did was try to make people do rush decisions, and that's it. I just don't see any logical reason for those games to take off the fucking digital download. Which is why, by the way, I used to download all my Super Nintendo games and my N64 games onto the Wii. I did that because I wanted to play those games in higher quality. But obviously, the Wii Shop channel went down, and I was hoping the Wii U would allow us to like re-download these games in higher quality. and then the Switch, but it never came back around. You know what they do now? They just charge you a rental fee.
Well, you pay like a few bucks for like the Super Nintendo service or something.
Yeah, it was something. It's something like that. But once you stop paying for the service, I think you don't get to play the games no more. So it's like we can't win for losing. This is fucking bullshit. I don't know. There's nothing we can do. Obviously, we don't make the games. So
yeah, that's something we can do all right.
Yeah, you can do what I did. We could not buy the fucking games that have this shit and then be strong about it. But as a community, we're all people who buy games come from all walks of life, and there's no way we can. We're not a union. We can't we can't use the gamers union to make like decisions in order to make companies stop fucking us over. Like, let's just take my friends for example. I talked to that I mentioned earlier. I love them both to death. They're fucking me right now. They don't even know it. It's because since they're both playing that game, they're just telling it's okay. Like, it's fine. Like, yeah, damn, next time, we'll make sure to put double DRM. Because apparently they don't care.
Yeah, it always ends up with double down.
Yeah, it always ends up double down. It's never one. It never goes down. It never gets dialed back. It gets double down. Because I remember back when it was like, it would just check for DLC, but now it's checked for the whole game to work.
Yeah, like it's getting to the point where like even if you have a physical copy of a game, you don't really have.
Yeah, you don't even own the damn thing. What did I buy? That's why I said when I downloaded that game and they wouldn't let me play it. I spent 30 minutes downloading 60 gigs. Where did that go? Do I even have that? Apparently not. I can't play it.
Yeah, you're basically buying a key.
Yeah,
that's essentially what you're doing.
A really expensive key that goes away. That explodes eventually.
Yep.
It's a key with a timer on it, and when the timer runs out, that's a wrap.
Yep. Either that, or they'll just bolt the door shut.
Yeah. It just locks the door on itself. God damn. It just explodes. It just breaks off in the keyhole.
All right, you had your fun, buddy.
All right, service closed. It just breaks off in the keyhole. You're like, well, fuck. I guess I can never play with my friends again. And like I said, the excuse was, well, I'm not going to play the game 6 years from now. I mean, I was like, yeah, you know that. You got a good point. You are not, but some of us will, and some of us would like to play these fucking games when it's been 6 years from now. Because whether you like it or not, some of us get nostalgic every now and then and want to just touch the game a little bit. I mean, even me, I go back and play. I went back and played Borderlands 2 like last year. That game is old as fuck now. I feel old because that game came out like in 2012, I think, 2013, and I went back to just play Borderlands 2 just because. But last year, I was like, you know what? I'll just play Borderlands 2. But if it was Outriders, that game would be gone. For sure. Like, absolutely no chance I could go back and play Outriders.
Better play it before it goes back in the vault.
Yeah, the Disney vault. It's fucked up, but Disney does the same thing. They create artificial scarcity in order to make the things worth more money. So
yeah,
that Disney vault shit is literally them putting movies away and not making them readily available for physical purchase until they decide so. Just so that the movies are worth more, or they can sell it for however much they want. I remember finding that out. I was like, what the fuck is a Disney Vault? When I was a kid, I was like, what the hell is a Disney Vault?
It's the commercials. You better get Cinderella before it goes back into the
vault.
Disney
Yeah,
vault.
that's exactly what it says. And as a kid, I don't comprehend like capitalism. So like now that I'm an adult, I think I was watching an old VHS. I think I had a VHS of The Great Mouse Detective, and I was just watching it one day. Because I love The Great Mouse Detective. And I was watching it, and it was like, we're gonna release Snow White from the vault. I'm like, and then you better buy it before it goes back in the vault. I'm like, these sons of bitches did not re-release Snow White for 50 years. Just so they can make an extra $1 now. Like, what a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, they want to keep their product at a quote unquote premium and not have it as cheap as other movies.
It's fucked
This
up.
ain't so easily accessible. This is a treasure.
Yeah, it's fucked up. But technically, that's probably Disney probably invented the first DRM. The Disney Vault is the first DRM,
Oh god.
and then Capcom was second with their self exploding fucking games. For some reason, that's crazy. That's what they went to. Man, I don't want people to pirate my game. All right, make it explode. Make it so no one can have it.
That's why SNK is popular everywhere else.
Yeah, you're completely right, actually. Because I don't think their games have any timers at all. They're just like, fuck it, man, take it.
Yeah, they were incredibly easy to pirate. You know, that's so like they were popular everywhere else in the world where people couldn't afford those expensive boards that were gonna blow up anyway.
It's crazy because SNK is like, I think they really were in their glory days back in the day because they were popping off all kinds of games, right? And they just were like, we're gonna sell it to whoever fucking will buy this shit, and they were just doing everything they can to corner this market. And since they were inexpensive, technically, compared to other arcade cabinets, they found a fan base because they were just available. Right? Mm-hmm. It's almost like if, like, imagine if Coke was $3 more expensive than Pepsi. And Pepsi was everywhere. And Coke wasn't imported everywhere because they also had tax tariffs on they had tariffs on everything. So Coke ended up being $7 more expensive. Of course, the whole world would like Pepsi, or at least some of these other countries would like Pepsi because like a lot of these countries that like SNK are the ones that probably were less fortunate during those times. So they had to just play whatever they got, and so like a lot of these South American countries and like Mexico as well, they have tons of SNK products. China, same thing, because they just like the other things are just inaccessible. So SNK has this big market of like love from these places just because they were the most accessible. But they squandered like 8 times.
And it's funny, like they still love those games. Like that's why I said, like if you release that game like properly on all the right systems, it can be a huge blockbuster. It can surpass Street Fighter and Tekken easily if you do it right.
They still love those games. And Samurai Showdown had rollback and actual gameplay that was worth playing in terms of single player content. That game could have been a whole different story. But here we are. Nobody in Brazil can play other people in Brazil. So nobody in Mexico can play other people in Mexico. So it flopped. KOF 15. We don't know for sure it has rollback. They were super shady on it. So I'm going to just say it doesn't. So when it comes out without rollback, it's going to be the same thing again. The people who just play it just to look at the arcade endings, they're going to say the game was great, and then everyone else is going to just put it away after 2 months. Because we're going to have the same song and dance for fighting. Fighting games are in the song and dance. Oh, man, well, I enjoyed the game. I'm like, okay, well, do you still play it? Well, I played it when the game came out, and I beat all the arcade modes, and I put it away. So you played it for 1 month on the easiest difficulty, and then you put it back in the cabinet. Okay. So,
hey! I pulled it out from the cabinet when Barbara the Bikini Warrior DLC came out.
Oh my god! Well, that was until SNK Heroines came out, and then I played that game instead. I'm like, all right, guy that knows best.
I mean, look, man, but they said pretty much biking or whatever Guilty Gear character. Everyone's like, oh man, I gotta turn the game back on. Yeah. I mean, it worked.
it worked. I didn't buy it. It didn't work on me.
Nah, not the people who play Sam Show, but
yeah, everyone else. Yeah, they for sure gotta buy the DLC. They want to play biking. They want to play Iroha. That's funny. They want to say Iroha's like. I know why that character's in that game. All right, and I know why Champ's in that game.
You gotta move units, man.
Yeah, I know. They're like, my favorite character, Champ is finally in the game. They'll play the game, play the story, and then put it back in the box. Oh man, I finally got to play Champ. Woo! Well, that was a good game.
Good fun, good times.
Good times. I can't wait for. And they're like rolling their fucking gacha on the KOF gacha. Oh man, I can't wait to put John Cena with Brock. Brock Howard. I'm like, fuck you, man. You're the reason why we got this trash. It's funny because it's technically not true because I'm like in between on the thought of them because it's like, well, if they didn't buy it, then the company may just go bankrupt and then never make anything ever again. So we have to have a little of both. We have to have the people that will buy it just to play story mode once, and then we have to have the people who are sensible and try to demand the company be better. This goes for all fighting games. I'm not talking about SNK in general. This is all fighting games, except for maybe the Western ones, because they seem to hit all the bases, essentially. I don't know what to say about Mortal Kombat other than I don't like it, but I can't argue that it's not a great product, right?
And that's the worst thing you can say about it. They do it all right.
Yeah, I can't really say nothing bad about it. Like, if the only complaint you have about a fighting game is that you don't like it, but everything else is great, then that's a good ass game. Because most fighting games, you can't just leave it at that. It's gonna be. I haven't played anyone with under 3 bars in 7 months. Like, that's normally the next complaint. Game's unplayable. The lobby system's fucked. Offline is fucked. The fucking story mode is like 10 minutes worth of content. The practice mode doesn't have all the modes that I need. The weird off mode that is in every fighting game that no one uses doesn't work because no one gives a fuck about it. Ghost mode. Fucking,
No, man, don't bring that up, man.
fucking ghost mode. Fucking like the time trial mode. It's possible Street Fighter V's time trial mode doesn't work and no one even knows.
Man.
It's just, that's normally what fighting games go through. But it all has to go back down to DRM. Because the only reason we even started talking about SNK is because they didn't have any. And they actually survived as a company because of that. And are like a household name. Only because they didn't literally put anything in to stop piracy. So everyone loves them because everyone knows who they are. It's crazy to me that people know who Iori is and like Kaio. Because those characters are just like guys. Like, they're just guys. They're just fighting game characters.
I know Funky Pete, when they were having that tournament in Mexico, I forget what it was called, but he was down there doing streaming, and apparently some girl in I guess in one of the corner stores asked him, like, what are you here for? He said he was streaming fighting games. She's like, what? He's like, yeah, like I think he said like Tekken and stuff. Like, she was like, huh? And somebody said King of Fighters. She goes, oh.
See this. You see, obviously SNK just either didn't think about piracy, and this is what came to. But I think there's something to say about companies not being. Obviously, piracy is bad. I'm not trying to say justify piracy, but we don't have to worry about preserving SNK games. I can say that. Like, we have all of them readily available, and SNK probably doesn't have any plans to give us rollback on every single fighting game they ever made because they made a fuckload. Yeah. But at least we have them, right? And we don't have to worry about them ever going away. Outriders, it's gone. You have the game now, but it's gone. And whether you care or not, I get it. But, you know, you better YouTube your gameplay because you might as well fucking look back on that because you ain't going to be able to play it. It's fucked up to say, but I'm really thinking about how like the future is going to be people playing these games, recording them and uploading them, and then when they're like 30, like if they're 5 now, when they're 30, they better have recorded themselves playing them games when they were 7. Because that's the only way they're going to reflect on Fortnite.
Yeah.
Unless Fortnite lasts that long, it might be the one, but I don't think Fortnite's going to last 30 years. If it does, man, and if I'm like 60 and it's still around, I'll come back to this podcast and I'll eat my own words. I'm like, they did it. I don't know how they did it. But they did it.
I would imagine Fortnite would at least have private servers at some point. At least that's what I would think, but who knows?
Well, you know, it's funny because like one of my friends played a game that was made by EA. And I don't remember the name of the game, but it was like it looked like it was a shooter game where you're like these soldiers and shit, but it's like a cartoony soldier. It almost looks like it's like a more playful style. It's not like a hardcore style. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember the name of the game, but he played it on private servers, right? And because the game has not been, there's no current version of the game that's available and playable at all. But after about 3 months, EA sent a cease and desist.
Oh man, I can't. What can you say to that? Except for more piracy.
Yeah, I mean, the fucked up part is that if they can still play the game on the servers, but they just have to never show any video footage of it because then EA will never know, right? But they can't grow the game and share it with other people because if they record themselves playing it, then EA's gonna catch wind of it and then ceases the system again. But it makes you wonder, like, why, right? Like, why are you stopping them from playing a game that you no longer service and have no intention of ever bringing back up? Because I would say it's possible they were going to do it and they thought about they're going to bring it back, but it's been 2 years since they said that. The game has been down for 4 or 5 years, and then they brought it back up. Not EA, but the guys, and then they sent a cease and desist, and it's been 2 years since then. So they obviously didn't have any intent. They just told them to stop because I guess they hate fun. I can't. EA's another shitty company, right? So it is what it is. It's not like you can't not expect EA to do something shitty. So I don't know. It's just greed. It really is just greed. It reminds me, like, maybe eventually these Madden games they'd sell to everyone every single year out of pure greed. They're gonna fucking. They're definitely gonna make you go online, and then you won't have offline Madden anymore. Like, you won't be able to just throw the ball around of the NPCs offline. Obviously, it's not such a big of a deal with Madden because the people who play those games already buy the same game every year. And so they will technically never go back to play Madden 19, right? Or Madden fucking.
There are actually some people who are like religious about like some particular year in Madden, but that's probably more towards the competitive people.
It's probably like the best version.
Yeah, it's people like, well, when they changed the way passing worked from Madden 16 to Madden 17, there are people like that. I've seen them, but like the general person, probably not.
Yeah, the general populace don't give a fuck. But I can see the competitive people be like, well, I don't like how passing works in this game. Why they do it? It's been more. They could be like me. The passing mechanic has been worse since 2015. The Madden 2015 got it right. In every game, they put a gimmick on the pass. And so the game is less competitive every year. Fuck that guy. And we really have to keep playing this trash because these casuals keep buying the same game despite the game getting worse.
I don't know if I want to meet Madden Painbot, to be honest. That sounds scary as hell.
They put a comeback mechanic in Madden for no reason. If you're 20 points ahead, your fucking receiver breaks his leg. Why do we need that shit? Why do we need that? Madden 1990 through 2009 didn't have that.
You're killing me, man.
I can't imagine it.
Oh man!
But I like to believe there's a me in every fucking competitive version of the game, right? There's just that one guy that's really passionate, and so that Madden guy is fucking livid. That since 2015, the fucking the playbook has been trash, and they've never fixed that. And then the fucking the passing mechanic has just been getting degraded in favor of fucking more to make the game more aggressive or some shit like that, right? Like this little tweaks like that. There's got to be a guy like that just hates that shit. And but it's worse for him. It's worse for him than it is for me because the game gets renewed every year. So he's fucked. Like the amount of people willing to play Madden 2015 has to be infinitely smaller than people playing Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, you gotta join the Madden 2015 Discord.
Yeah, I want to find the Madden 2015 Discord. What's that fellow 215? What's that fellow Madden players? Fuck 2016, am I right? Can you imagine just going in there?
Oh man, I got tears in my eyes thanks to you, man.
Oh man, it's true though. This is from there's all kinds of people in every different walks of life and every different hobby, and there's no telling what? There's no telling what people grab onto. Obviously, I'm like so beyond everything. Like I've been broken, so I don't really care too much about how fighting games become at this point because I've been broken by the companies. So I'm just like, well, they're gonna do what they're gonna fucking want to do. That's literally what I've come to. I'm like, they're gonna do what the fuck they want to do. They're gonna do whatever the one that they want to do, and I'm just gonna have to find the one fighting game out of the 10 that is just fucking the way I want it to be. That's all I can do. Because if I try to cling on to my games I like and hope they fix them or make a new version that's the same but better, I'm dying. I'm gonna die before that happens. Because that's not how these companies work. The way these companies work is that they look at these fucking superficial data and they draw conclusions and then try to make these new games based on those conclusions, and it'll be completely not based on what I feel or how other people feel on competitively. It's going to be based on the casual market, what they thought didn't work, what did work, and what they need to change. So therefore, I can never get what I want. That's the conclusion I came to. So all I can do is pray that these next 15 fighting games, the next 2 years that come out, I may find one. Unluckily, Samurai Showdown, that was the one. This last year. But guess what? It was trash. So then I gotta move on again. So hopefully this next generation is good.
I hope you find your soulmate, man.
I hope that God Guilty Gear is good. That's the one I'm banking on now. I'm hoping the God Guilty Gear is good. I'm not even that good at Guilty Gear. I'm like, okay, right? I can play okay. But if this new Guilty Gear is good, I will put time into it, and I will stream it, and I will do all that shit. But there's always that chance. The game is trash. And who knows? If the game is trash, I better hope that fucking Shingeki Bunko Fighting Climax EX Lair is fucking gross. And it has rollback. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. Mortal Kombat 12 might be amazing to me. And I have to play Mortal Kombat 12. There's no telling. That's why I feel bad for that's why I feel really bad for Madden 2015 guy. Because he actually has no choice. You know how we have like a ton of different fighting games, right?
Yeah.
They bought the rights to the sports. They can't fucking. There is no other company. Madden 2015 guy is pissed.
Yeah, there used to be a lot of NFL games, and they like always varied in their approach. And there was a lot of good competition until EA fucked it up.
I never told anyone this, but I actually like playing football games. I used to, and by football games, I mean specifically Blitz 2000. And after EA did what they did, as a kid, I wondered why there wasn't any more Blitz games.
Oh, there were.
There's only two more.
Yeah, they had to scrub out all the NFL stuff out of it, but yeah, it's like you can't really sell them anymore because like people want the NFL license.
Yeah, they want to play the Falcons, or they want to play the Broncos, or they want to play whoever, right? They want to play the fucking I don't know what the hell's the other character. What's the team from San Francisco? The 69ers.
Yeah.
They want to play those fucking teams. So Blitz is not going to be popular with anyone that wants to play those fucking football games. Because I love Blitz. You know another game I like? I like AHL Hits.
Oh, boy.
AHL Hits was amazing. And I'm assuming that they did the same thing with AHL Hits when someone bought the license to the hockey games. And they just went away. Because I remember, like, around the GameCube era, there was a ton of, like, arcadey sports games that were really fun. That I don't even like sports games like that, but I would play them because they were fun. But then they died off all at the same time, mysteriously. And it turns out...
I think a lot of them were, like, midway games.
Yeah, and they must have all died out mysteriously. And by mysteriously, I mean capitalism. Someone straight up said, nope, can't use those fucking teams. We have the license now. And EA is sitting there fucking wringing their fucking hands about how to fucking make sure the receiver breaks his fucking leg as a comeback mechanic.
Yeah, man, 2015 guy, he can't win.
that poor fucking soul. I feel bad for that guy. God damn, I feel terrible. Because like I said, I can at least go to a different fighting game. That guy's fucked. He really has no choice. He has nothing. There's nowhere he can go. He can only play Madden 2015, and pray that Madden 2022 is gross. It doesn't have DRM, and it actually works when it gets released. Because that last one apparently was really bad. The game didn't fucking work right or nothing. But yeah, DRM is bad for this exact same shit. This all goes back to DRM. Because if Madden 2015 is on the PS3 and that's the only copy he has, he's fucked. Right? He's fucked. Let's say Madden 2015 was the PS3 exclusive. He's fucked. It sucks to say, but he's fucked. Damn. Greed. Just greed. Alright. I think I got it all on my system.
That sounds like it, man.
Alright. It's time to grab me a Fanta. And fucking get ready to beat these bosses again.
What's up, man?
Alright, man. I appreciate having you on here, even if it was just to listen to me.
He hit almost 2 hours, man.
Yeah, it was a good. I think it was a good conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
But I appreciate y'all listening. There'll be a VOD on YouTube. But yeah, maybe I'll have Coach on again some other time if he's not busy doing his great podcast, which y'all should go listen to on his channel, which is Mr. Annual. Is that the channel? It's Mr. Annual, right?
Yeah, you got to spell out it though. You got to spell out Mystery.
Oh, you got to spell the whole thing. All right, so there you go. It's Mr. Annual with the fucking full Mister. But all right then, I'll catch y'all later. Appreciate having you on. Peace.
Peace.